Hi guys, welcome back to Ooh Aah Crochet. And as I can see, my camera is doing goofy things already. Look at, I got a halo. This episode is so far from a halo, it's not even funny. Okay, well, let's get started. Again, my name is Amber and welcome back. Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate it so much. And I don't know if you can tell, but I just got out of the shower with 4 kids and a man and supper and daily stuff. You know, showers are pretty like, gotta have a shower. Okay, so anyway, my happy face, I'm all nice and clean. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got several finished objects and I'll just show you what I've got done. Not in any particular order. All the links that I have will be down below. This is one of those things that I was just, I don't know, I think he's an octopus. I made sure he had 8 legs. But anyway, this is one of those things that I just keep a ball of yarn and a crochet hook in the car when I'm picking up the kids from school, so I have something to do, because sitting there with kids in your car while they're busy chatting, screaming, yelling, and not having anything to do is pretty nerve-wracking. So anyway, I just finished him up. He needed a bottom, and so I took the last bit of yarn I had of this color and made a bottom. I do mine so I do not have to sew on legs. I refuse to sew on legs. I will work it around on the bottom so I do not have to do it. And basically I just chain all the way, chain down all the way, crochet again, chain down all the way, and then when I went to do the center, I crocheted and then I went through the leg, crocheted some more, went through the leg, and then decreased, obviously. But yeah, I'm not sewing on 8 legs. So this one is done. Isn't he happy? And he's like, you know, ball worthy. So this may go in my craft fair bin, or if it doesn't sell, it'll definitely go in the bin for Jefferson, good God, for Garfield, for my school's Mal we're doing, the make-along for charity. So there's one object finished. And then I talked to you last week about the beer mitts or beverage mitt that I got a free pattern from. Ella is wonderful, from No Catchy Name, is wonderful about keeping you up to date on different people that have a free pattern. All of a sudden, you know, they're gifting a pattern giveaway or something with a code. I can't talk today. And anyway, I got this, and the pattern is by alwaysprettyinpink. And so basically what you do is you crochet a big long tube, so back and forth, a big long panel, and then crochet or sew, fold it in half, and then you crochet a big tube. Crochet a big tube, and then your undress vaults is on the inside. When you crochet it, or when you sew it together, here you guys, I'm so sorry. I can't talk today. You make the tube, you sew down the middle on one side, so you fold it in half and sew on one side. And then on the open part, then you crochet around and around and around and around. And then you crochet a bottom. So anyway, that's done. That's going to go to my friend that bought the tank boots. And it works. My hand fits in there. I think I'll make the arm part a little bigger next time when I make them. But it does work. Obviously, I don't drink beer. and probably won't drink beer in the house ever again, which is fine. Don't need it. So there it is. That's all ready to go. And then I finished a gnome, and I will put a picture, future Amber put a picture right here, of the gnome I finished. I got a commission to finish a gnome, and it was a free pattern, and I found it online, and she wanted gray and red, so I did gray and red. That wouldn't have been my colors, but it turned out really cute. And I used Karen's Simply Soft for the beard, for the white, because that's the white I just happened to grab. I had a little bit of it, and I grabbed it. And the beard itself was a pain in the butt. It was a loop stitch, and obviously I didn't know how to do a loop stitch right, so I did it 3 times until the 3rd time I looked up on YouTube how to do a loop stitch, because in the directions it didn't really tell you. It just says loop stitch. Okay, well, it's a free pattern, so I'm not complaining, right? So I looked it up, and I finished it. But then when I did the Karen Simply Soft, and you take it apart, you know, just like you do your hair, and you're kind of making it all fluffy, well, because it's so soft, and when I went to comb it out, it like had fuzzies everywhere. So the kids are like, "What's this? What's this? What's this? This is all fuzz." Yeah, because it had fuzz everywhere. But she liked it, and you know, it was great. But for a $10 commission, I'm not going to buy a pattern. If I can't find a free pattern, or if I don't happen to get a free pattern, I'm not going to do a commission for $10 and buy a pattern, you know, for $4 or $5, $6. It's just not in my budget. So, the next pattern I worked on was an elephant bookmark. Hopefully you can see this. And this is a free pattern too. This is by Jelly Designs, and if you look up elephant bookmark on Ravelry, you will find that. And I believe there is a download right on Ravelry. It's made in a couple different pieces, so you make this in one piece. You make the head and the ears separate, but the trunk is a part of the head. The eyes were a little difficult for me because I obviously forgot how to do a French knot. Because then you do the black, and then you're supposed to add a little bit of touch of white. Now in her directions, she says, place a towel over the top and iron, or put it under an iron to help it flatten out. You could do that, I guess. I don't see why it would be a big deal. But the tail is definitely long enough for a bookmark. I suppose it would make a little bit of a bump in a book, but I don't know. So, it's cute. Some kid will like it regardless. So, anyway, that's done. That's going in the make-along. If you haven't heard about it, where you been? I got jokes for days today, you guys. Anyway, the make-along is for knitters, crocheters, Cricut users, if you loom knit, if you cross stitch, if you embroider, whatever you want. It's for charity, so I don't really care what you make it out of. But for the charity that's here in Sioux Falls, for Garfield, the school that my kids go to, we're doing small items like this, like bookmarks, little small amigurumis, handheld, you know, kind of things. And then we're doing wearables because South Dakota's cold. Hats, gloves, mittens, scarves, that kind of thing. So there's 2 different things. There's 4 different threads on Ravelry. There's 2 different albums open on the Facebook group. So make sure you go join those. If you haven't done it yet, please go join those. And if you choose not to send it to me, perfectly okay with that. Just tell me which charity you're sending it to. Make sure you put pictures on there, and that'll totally count in there. There will be a couple prizes towards the end. It's just a charity mail. So anyway, I'm trying to get up enough stuff for the school, There's 400 students, so I'm hoping that we get a good start at it. And so for every project I make for me or for a commission, I'm going to make something for the Mal. That's what I'm doing. So, I've made it a mission to work on all my scrap yarn and do that kind of thing. And so my next project was part of that. I had a great big ball of white, just kind of all tangled, and so I thought, okay, I'll use that white up. So, this is a pattern that I got free. It is a paid pattern, but I got it free. It's Melted Snowman by Snappy Tots by Heidi. Heidi with Snappy Tots. And again, Ella with No Catchy Name is always posting when Heidi has her free patterns out. So if you're not a part of Snappy Tots, and pay attention to what Ella's got going on, and she'll keep you informed. But you should be a member of Heidi's group because she's amazing. She's got really cute patterns out there. But this is the Melted Snowman hat, and it is definitely a child size because it comes to right here on me. I can get it on my fat head, and I have like a size 23 inch head. This mannequin is got to be like a 20, 21 tops. So definitely a kid. But look at how cute the head is. It's because I used worsted weight, this would be it would be too big for a keychain. But you could take the head and make it into a lovey. That'd be almost a perfect size for that. And she gives you instructions on how to make the hat, the scarf. There's twigs, and then I just gotta add the buttons here and make it so it kind of like looks like it's melted, so off to the side a little bit and a diagonal. And then some people had mittens on there. She does show you how to do that. So, but that nose is so cute, and she had different, you could do different ways for your smile too, so. But anyway, so that is done. All I've got to do is add the buttons, but all my ends are even woven in. Can you believe it? So, technically it's done the way, because there's no ends. I even sewed on the scarf. So, there's that. Oh, what else? Okay. If you are not of the age of 18 or over 18, please cover your eyes. Now, if you're under 18, I understand. Welcome. But do understand that I do make some adult items, and I don't want to offend anyone. And so if you don't like that, just fast forward just a few minutes, okay? So, I have several friends that I believe will be interested in this. Now, this is a free pattern. There are paid-for patterns out there, but they're like $4 or $5. Feel free to pay for it. But, anyway, this is my adult chapstick holder. Again, if you're offended, I apologize. But, I used worsted. In the pattern, it does call for DK, and a lot of the patterns that you can purchase are from European countries. So the UK and other places, they have the DK yarn, which is smaller than worsted, which is probably a good idea. So even a sport weight or a baby yarn might be better than a worsted. Or you can crochet a lot tighter than I do, and it won't be so big. So this is probably maybe too big for a keychain, I guess, I don't know. But it'd be kind of cute to put in your purse. Lenny helped me, Lenny Stevens helped me decide that I should have it for the top open. And a lot of people that, if you look up the pattern, a lot of people decided to have it so the top opens and not the bottom. But basically the bottom is just two little balls that you crochet to 6, 12, and then back down again and attach them. This is just the tube. There's definitely, the pattern for this part up here was worth following. And I probably would do a slip stitch next time instead of a back post. But anyway, it fits. I mean, it's not tight, or it's tight, so it does fit. So, and then it does say that you could close this part up and put some stuffing in there, but didn't need it. So anyway, so there's some of my ideas. So when I do craft fairs, I might just have like Amber's naughty section or Amber's adult section. Because who doesn't need an adult section for their craft fairs? Okay, enough of that, right? Okay, I'm looking down at my list because I talk too much and then I forget what I'm going to tell you. So my son Jacob has been asking me for an ant for a very long time. And obviously I make all kinds of other things, but I just don't get back to this ant because I basically had to design it. I had to make it, right? So, here's my start. Now, I actually had to look up online pictures of ants. I could have done a cartoon ant, but that would have been too easy. So, in my design brain, or in my brain, I wanted to make a pattern that hopefully I can sell. Not that anybody will want it, but maybe they will. So anyway, an ant has way more parts than you would think. It's got the back end, the thorax, which is the middle part, which is actually where all 6 legs come out of, and then the head. And I probably said that all wrong, but you get the gist of it. And so these little ridges here are where I am going to attach the legs. So it gives an extra loop. So when I'm sewing on the legs for stability and for something to grab onto, that's my idea for those ridges. And plus the ants have ridges anyway. If I do the pattern again, I would probably put two ridges back here because the ants really do have some color changes back here. But I really like how the head turned out. Now I left, my niece asked me what this was. Well, I left the yarn on so I didn't have to take it apart. But ants have mandibles. And so really, I think I might extend this so these come out just a little bit more. I did fasten the eyes on, so I think those look okay. And the way I made it, it actually came out so the eyes kind of did sit where they're supposed to, I guess. So the biggest problem, and Valerie talks about this all the time with Old Soul Crochet, she talks about it all the time about how when you're making amigurumis and you're doing it in the round, and if you don't chain up or slip stitch chain 1, your work curves on you. Now I took out the stitch marker or my piece of yarn that I use when I'm doing big projects like this, especially with the blanket yarn. I use a piece of yarn because you will get lost. Your children or your husband or somebody will interrupt you and you will forget where you were at, and then you'll have to either rip it out or start over. But I put this black piece of yarn so I knew which way was up. And then as I worked along, it curved and my piece of yarn started going this way. So then I was like, I'm going to think like Ravelry and make sure I'm adjusting the pattern so it would come out centered. So I put this piece of yarn here, and then I had followed my piece of yarn that I had for my stitch marker all the way down, and then I adjusted my pattern as I went to make sure that I was staying centered, and all of my increases, so for like the head here, all my increases were even, but they were on where they were supposed to be. So if I ever do get the pattern written out, that's the way it's written. So you've got more stitches on this side than that side because it curves. It naturally wants to go like this. So, the next part is making the legs, and this is where I'm kind of perplexed. Like, in the blanket yarn, it's so big that it's going to be hard to make the tubes. And I tried doing just a single crochet or a chain, single crochet in the back loop only, or back hump, and that would be okay for an antenna, because antennas could be floppy, but for support, it really needs to have more weight to it. It really needs to have some support. And I mean, it'll sit on a table by itself, and that might be okay for a kid, which is for kids. And I could just put the legs, on top, you know, and have them like an M shape, which is kind of my idea. Have them in an M shape with the feet on the bottom. I don't know. But anyway, with the blanket yarn, it makes it a little bit more difficult to do the tube-like structures, because you're really going to have that piece of yarn in place for your stitch marker. But I might think about going down to either a 6 or a 6.5 hook to try to do that, so it's smaller maybe. But that might be too hard to see too, because especially with this red yarn. And I asked, and red or black, I don't think it would matter with this pattern. It's going to be hard to see your stitches. This red yarn just melted right into itself. I've had other Bernat blanket yarn that it didn't do that. I could see my top stitches, but this one, but this is all one piece, so I'm pretty excited about that. And if you wanted to, you could change it into a crab leg or a lobster claw. It's pretty much there. Okay, anyway, ant in progress. We'll see someday, hopefully. Jacob will get his ant. And then, that adult king-size blanket I told you that I was working on, that I've been commissioned to do for a very, 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 very long time. Here it is. See all my stitch markers? So I decided to put stitch markers in every 20 stitches. Now, a king-size blanket and single crochet and the hook that I'm using turns out to be 500 stitches. Yep, you heard me right. 500 stitches. Now, what I'm doing is I'm combining, because I gotta work harder and not smarter, I guess, but I'm combining part of the Phoenix Rising blanket, which is a pattern on Facebook. You can find it under Phoenix Rising, Native American Blankets and More by Helen. I think it's Helen Cole. You can join her group and look at it, but it's an amazing blanket, and she did all of her research on Native American different textiles, I guess, and their patterning and what they use, and like for the teepees and the eagles, the birds, the bears, the paw prints, the arrows, anything you can think of, the water signs, stars. She's kind of researched it and done all that. Oh, I'm at 24 minutes already. Okay, anyway, so I'm combining my idea for her blanket, but instead of the phoenix, I'm going to add the buffalo. And because it's a king size, it should have plenty of room to get this in there and the bear. So my two friends, they like buffaloes and bears, and my friend Mike is always wearing a necklace full of claws. I want to say they're bear claws. but don't quote me on it. I'll have to ask him. But anyway, so that's a work in progress. And then, what else? I don't want my video to shut off on me. So, I'll be back with probably another video tonight. I'm going to do a shout out video. I am getting Happy Mail soon, probably Thursday, because I won a 200 subscriber giveaway. Yay! And then I will insert in the front of this video, in the middle of this video, and probably towards the end of the video, we reached 400 subscribers. So I'm going to have two different signs or pictures that'll give you some more information. Make sure you answer those questions below. And thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I am so excited to reach 400 subscribers, and we've actually surpassed that by, I think, another 10 or 15. Super excited. I am so thankful for all the shout outs I've been given, and I can't wait to do a shout out video because you guys, there are so many people out there that have only a few subscribers, and they are very talented, they're kind, they're genuine, and I think we need to give them some love. So that'll be my next video, and then a Happy Meal video later this week. And I might even do a fair video. I'm not sure on that. Anyway, ta-ta for now, and thank you guys for subscribing. Take care. Hi guys. So I totally forgot in the previous section to tell you what you would get for subscribing and the winners. I said that all wrong. It's okay. You know what I'm talking about, right? So we reached 400 subscribers, and it's crazy amber hair because I didn't put it up right away. That's okay. But I have had two awesome YouTubers graciously donate patterns for the 400 subscriber giveaway. I'm so excited. So, Valerie with Old Soul Crochet is going to donate one Penelope the Pig pattern. So if you haven't done this already, look at how cute. So that'll be one winner, Penelope the Pig. And yeah. And so when I draw those winners, then I'll just need your email address for Valerie. And then Hannah with the Cozy Cottage Crochet is donating 2 patterns. Let me look it up. I forget what it's called. I think it's one of her new ones. Sorry, I want to make sure I get the name right. Okay, she's going to donate 2 copies of the Lake of Nine shawl. And I'm sure there's some sort of nerdy reference with that. I'll have to look it up. I forgot already. But anyway, so that's 3 different prizes. And then I will do one prize with just some stitch markers that I've made. And maybe even a Plarn yarn bowl. Okay? So 4 prizes. And again, there'll be that little picture that you have to watch for. And answer the questions for that below. And don't put giveaway. I'm not going to put giveaway in the title. I want it just to be for my subscribers. I appreciate all of you, and I'm very thankful. So please, I will put all the links down below for Valerie and Hannah. Be sure to check them out and tell them that I sent you, and thank them for donating prizes. And I'm super excited and very grateful that they did that. you know, with giveaways and stuff, it gets expensive, especially if you're going to be mailing. So this way my international subscribers can join too, and it's not a big deal. Now, if somebody does win the stitch markers and whatever else, I will give them the option to either have a pattern on Ravelry, or I will mail them stitch markers. I don't really care. Whatever they prefer, that's completely up to them. So, as normal YouTube jargon, it's a happy mail. It's sponsored by me, basically Valerie and Hannah. It's just no charge to you guys. It's free to enter. And if you can't accept gifts in your country, then please know that if you were to win the stitch markers, then you would have to pick the Ravelry pattern. So, okay, that's enough of that. Make sure you watch the rest of the video. Okay? Alright.